bed down a bit. There we go. Yes, live from London. Here we are, folks. Hope you had a good week. Simon, good week?
It's not been too bad, actually. Just lots of traffic.
Lots of traffic.
Lots of traffic.
How was your... have you had another COVID injection? I mean, I know you did.
I've had about 12, yes.
Excellent,
I'm
excellent.
Doubly sure.
Fantastic. So your
12.
DNA should be completely destroyed
Yes.
by the end of the week. Yeah, we're all vaxxed up here on Car-Boyz. We in no way can catch any new variant of COVID-19, as we are constantly drinking Castrol GTX on a daily basis and only venturing outside at night, which is nice. Coming up on the show this week, I promise you we are. Coming up on the show like vampires, we have all the news that's not fit to print. Put the false teeth back in the news. We are going to have delving into your correspondence, the part of the show we like to call the mailbag or the letter bollocks. And we have a great vehicle for you in our classic car selection. And Simon, guess what?
What's that?
It's not a car.
Ooh.
It'll be interesting. And it's my pleasure to announce I'm joined by my co-host, the King of Enfield and the North London Honorary Consul to the island of Mauritius. Here's Simon.
Thank you very much, but I've got to tell you though, it's purely ceremonial. It's not official. Yeah, but I do it for the love of the people.
And why wouldn't
people.
you? Why? Yeah, my people.
Exactly. We have a great show on the way today, and talking of Mauritius, we'll be heading there for our Lost Highways section of the show, and I have a great motion quiz for you this week. This week it is the Car-Boyz cryptic crossword.
Oh, okay, cryptic crossword.
Something slightly different.
Is it filthy?
No, but the guy that's going to be presenting it is called Red Todgers.
Ah, Red. Oh, I see what you did there. Yeah. And you've got to be about 58 to work out what. I'm glad we're going for the younger demographic.
Yeah, it's always
I think we can't rule out. I mean, we're both Generation X, but I think we can't rule out attracting the boomers, because the boomers, the grey pound, there's a lot of money in the grey pound and the silver dollar.
Yes, and maybe they'll sponsor us, or just donate to us. But we'll talk about that later on. We'll be asking the age-old question of how many psychologists does it take to change a tyre? Do you know the answer?
No.
It's going to be just one, because that tyre really needs to want to change.
Oh, I thank you. Boom, boom.
Here a week.
Boom, boom, Mr. Kevin.
That's another reference.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to be about 47 to work out.
Yes. So thank you for all of that and more. I'm Simon Sujuan, and I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are, all standing in a row. Big ones, small ones, some as big as your head. I'll twist and flick the wrist. That's what the showman said.
Is it indeed? Yes. Yes, Simon Sujuan there, who were partial to a coconut beer or two.
Yes.
Believe it or not. I was thinking Mongozo beer. Haven't had one of those in a while. And of course, it wasn't Mr. Kevin. It was Mr. Derek that Basil Brush used to say boom boom to. Mr.
Boom,
Derek. And I'm Richard Green. And if you like pina coladas and getting caught in the rain, and you're not into yoga, and if you have half a brain, and if you like making love at midnight in the dunes and the Cape, I'm the love that you've looked for. Write to me and escape.
Ooh.
Yes, the weather in England at the moment is very tropical, and that's obviously why I choose that song. And by tropical, I mean monsoon-like. And this, of course, is Car-Boyz. Welcome to the show. It's time now for my rant, Richard's rant. It's when I take a sideways view of the world from my own weird, and I would argue warped perspective. Unlike other sections of the podcast, this will not, and I repeat, not be an open debate or even a mass debate. This is the totalitarian part of the show where I rule supreme as El Jefe. This week I've been thinking about how we're being lied to by those in power, and it raises the question of why they're doing it. I point my gnarled, questioning finger at the Green Lobby, which seems to have taken over all rational discussion about how to clean up the environment and save energy. In regard to the latter, I love saving energy, mostly because I'm a tight-fisted git and don't want to spend cash. I am the typical dad, switching off lights room to room, turning down the central heating and telling everybody that it isn't cold and they should just put on another jumper. I like that argument, but I'm not at all convinced about the cleaning up the environment one. Now, I bring this up because this week, the Public Accounts Committee, or PAC, has poured scorn onto the British government and on the British government's led target to ban the sale of all new petrol cars by the year 2035, which firstly is very interesting because I was led to believe that the government was going to stop the sale of internal combustion engines by the year 2030. So for a start, where the hell did the 5 years go? Put that aside, the PAC, the Public Accounts Committee, say the number of on-street electric charging points need to be ramped up, particularly in rural areas. There are 26 being installed every day. I've got a friend that does it for a living. But the industry estimates say the figure needs to be 507 to hit the 2035 target. The PAC also warns ministers they must do more to help motorists overcome the upfront cost of buying new electric cars, which can be £5,000 or more expensive than equivalent fuel models. The other issues raised include the black hole left in the Treasury coffers by people switching from electric cars as fuel duty receipts for petrol and diesel sales shrink. Ministers also urged to draw up more concrete plans for dealing with electricity demands doubling by 2050. With the need to charge cars fueling this, electricity bills may also rise. I would imagine they will rise. There's the elephant in the room. We're already at the limit of our electrical production. We don't have enough sources of electricity for our homes and businesses, let alone our cars. The UK, in the UK, and you in reality have an environmental plan that is completely unworkable. We don't have enough electricity for the cars. The cars are too expensive. The technology isn't there to make cars run more than 200 miles. We're running out of the rare earths that fuel the cars faster than we're running out of oil. If we ban traditional ways of heating our homes, the new ones they're suggesting are 50 years off at least from being ready to be used by the public. So why are they trying to force these reforms on our cars, our homes and our lives when they know they're not going to work? It makes you think they're making this all up as they go along and not telling us the truth, which is, why they have no intention of getting rid of petrol cars. I think that's going to be the outcome. You've said one thing, and then PAC, who are really quite hardcore with the government, the Tories are making this up. The Public Accounts Committee are going, well, actually, you can't do that because there's no infrastructure. We would need to triple the amount of pylons we have carrying electricity. We don't produce enough electricity. There's no power stations. Doesn't it take 20 years to put a nuclear power station online? We haven't got any of this. So where is this coming up from? Is it all going to be powered on the wind and the tears of polar bears?
It's strange because you can hold two opposing views for this. So yes, you know that something needs to be green, but at the same time, the practicalities of replacing the car just aren't there.
No.
So it's a strange place to be because you've got the two opposing views, but you can hold the belief in both of them and say, yes, the world does need to be cleaned up. Perhaps maybe 20, 30 years too late.
And we haven't even got on to the fact there's no public transport to get on. Especially in rural areas. It's a weird one. I think this is all smoke and mirrors. I think this is all going to disappear, and we'll be going, do you remember that thing when they decided we were all going to have electric cars? Yeah, what happened to that? Well, they're going to. It's like an inbox that you. At some point, I'm going to have to deal with this, but I'll just keep moving that top letter all the way to the bottom of my inbox. Eventually, it'll get forgotten about, screwed up.
Is that a bit like when they said, don't have petrol cars, have diesels?
Yeah.
Is that also a bit like when they say that nationalising railway is really bad, but then nationalise part of the railway system?
Yeah.
Like they did this week.
Yeah. So they're slowly renationalising the rail, unbeknownst to the fact, but some people are making a profit out of it. It doesn't none of it makes any sense. There's no integrated transport network that we can go onto. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do without my car? I'm slightly confused. So there's confusion there. So we'll find out hopefully in many years to come when they finally release all the details what they were thinking. Got a new sponsor. It's Portuguese water this week, and it's Amber Alert goodness. So there you go, Portuguese. And it smells of lies and. Yeah, it tastes of a fourth or fifth lockdown. Yeah, so that'll be interesting.
Not quite sure why we have amber. Green, red, I understand, but amber is like, go there, but don't go there.
Just means go faster, doesn't it, Amber?
Yes.
When you're driving your car. I shall queue up the.
Let's move it on.
News. Let's have some more. Yes, let's queue up the news and have news.
first off in stereo goodness and Major Mr. Bean Screws London news. That was in stereo. That was really good. That sounded
Oh,
top quality.
nice, nice.
Sadiq Khan has confirmed that he will expand, oh no, the ultra low
Oh dear.
emission zone in a move that will cost up to 350,000 motorists £12.50 a day to drive in London. Hear that? Hear that? That's the sound of money falling out of my pockets. Money I
Yes.
don't have.
Yes.
The newly re-elected mayor of London will make the zone 18 times larger than it is
Ha!
currently. The move will force the owners of older, more polluting vehicles that usually have older, more polluting vehicles because they can't afford new, expensive, less
Yeah.
polluting vehicles.
Yeah, of course.
That they don't comply with strict emission standards and they have to pay the £12.50 fee in addition to the congestion charge if driving through the zone. So all those people that voted for him, that's what you're getting. Around 100,000 more
Hang on.
cars.
Here he is, looking befuddled.
Oh,
Befuddled. Oh.
yeah.
Boo.
Around around 100,000 more cars,
Boo.
35,000 vans, and 3,000 lorries will be affected. Lorries and buses who don't pay the fees will be slapped with a £100 fine. That's even more money that you're having to spend. Transport for London has estimated the total income for the expanded ULEZ zone, along with the congestion charge and low emission zones, will hit £762 million this financial year. That smells of profiteering from the
Just about.
motorists. Petrol cars must comply with the Euro 4 engine standards, which is pretty much most of them at the moment. Usually vehicles registered from January 2006 will face paying the fee. Meanwhile, diesel cars will need to pay up unless they meet the Euro 6 standard, meaning that anything registered after September 2015. The capital's ultra low emission zone, which was introduced in 2019, will cover the streets inside the North Circular and South Circular under Khan's new plans. The move will come into force on October 25th and can prove the deal for classic death knell for classic cars, which we will talk about later on.
I've just had a thought.
Yes.
What we need to do is have a picture of Mr. Bean, but then underneath William Shatner in his role as Captain Kirk going, "Khan!" in an old Volvo. Khan!
Yes. I think William Shatner would drive an old Volvo.
I think he would. He's about 106, I think, William Shatner.
Yeah.
His hair's only about 15 years older. If you're unable to comprehend what Simon's talking about means, and the new ULEZ zones, they go as far south as Bromley, which when I first came to London wasn't even in London, as far west as Ealing, as far north as where Simon is, Edmonton way, as far east as Ilford. This is pretty much the outskirts of London.
Yeah.
As I said, these areas weren't really considered London 50 years ago. Now, I don't think most people in London know about this. I've had no notifications from the mayor's office. I've had no notifications via an email, a text, social media. I've had no letters through the front door. I think they're hoping. Imagine if you're, I don't know, say you're 82, you drive a 1999 Lexus. It's not ULEZ compliant, and you live in Chiswick.
Yes.
Which is in the is Chiswick in the zone? Yeah, Chiswick's in the zone. And you've had no letters, and nobody's contacted you, and nobody's telling you, and you're not on social media. You've got a flip phone, and you talk to your daughter twice a week, and you like to go down to the Working Men's Club and have a pint. And you're going to go out in your car, and suddenly a bill is going to come through your front door for 24 quid, and the next day it's another 24 quid. Or so what is it a day? £12.50 a day.
£12.50.
So by the end of the week, and you're on a pension, you owe them 65 quid. And by the next week, you owe them 130 quid. And by the end of the month, you owe them what?
Just take my car.
Just take the car. But within 2 months, the value of your car will be what you owe them. But you're not being made aware of this. This is my fear. I told my father they're bringing it in Birmingham in June, I think. My father lives up north in the Midlands, and he said, he has to go and see a specialist at the hospital in Birmingham. Luckily, it's not. It's very, very, very much the centre of Birmingham, because he drives a 17-year-old Honda that's not ULEZ compliant. So I said, if you come down here, you can't. He said, I wouldn't never drive into the centre. I said, yeah, but you can't drive to Wembley. He's like, Wembley's not in the centre. I said, yeah, but where you go will cross over the line and take you into. He's like, yeah, why will it? I said, yeah, if you go to Wembley on the North Circular, you're probably going to be He's like, oh.
Mm.
So I said, you've got to come to my house, take my car. Not that he goes to Wembley a lot, but that's not the point. I think there's people that live in ULEZ that don't realise this is
Mm.
going on.
I'm a
I
Tottenham
fantastic.
supporter, and we don't go to Wembley very often either. So.
No, it's an odd occasion, isn't it? Uh, oh. Meanwhile, in more news, in Arseholes given the green light to die, a trial of rental scooters will be launched in London on June the 7th. If you haven't seen an electric scooter, this is what it looks like. Here's I think it's Rylan.
Is that Rylan?
It's really. I would like to drive my scooter.
Doesn't need lights. He's got his teeth. They're that white.
If I crash, my giant teeth will protect me. I also this looks sort of like some arsehole that works in the city because look,
Oh,
not
brown
wearing any
shoes, blue
socks.
trousers.
He's not wearing any socks. Which I think is de rigueur in Spain, but in London, definitely not. You look like a knob. So, Ryland there, yeah. TfL and London councils, which represent the city's total local authorities, have selected operators Dot, Lime, and Tyre to carry out a 12-month pilot scheme. So, a one-year one then. This is despite Limey scooters being temporarily taken off the streets in Auckland, New Zealand, over the rising number of deaths and accidents. It's the first time e-scooters will be legally allowed on the capital's roads, although private e-scooters continue to be illegal in public areas throughout the whole of the UK. London's scheme will initially be restricted to 6 boroughs and areas: Canary Wharf, Ealing, Hammersmith and Fulham, Richmond, the City of London, Kensington and Chelsea, although users will be allowed to ride through Tower Hamlets. Although I would suggest riding through Tower Hamlets, you want to go pretty fast on the e-scooters. It's like that. It's like that. It's like that. The what's it, isn't it? The National Lampoon's Holiday Vacation. Wind the window up, kids. Wind the windows up.
Back up a bit. Hold on a minute.
On.
Canary Wharf.
Yes.
Ealing,
Ealing
Hammersmith and Fulham. Richmond, City of London.
Yeah.
Not exactly poor boroughs, are they?
Yeah. Tower Hamlets is though.
Oh yeah.
See, the Tower Hamlets is where they're going to get stolen. The government hopes e-scooters will offer Londoners an accessible and environmentally friendly method of travel without emitting greenhouse gases like petrol, and make a fast getaway. Under the trial, e-scooters will only be permitted on London's roads and cycle paths and not on footways, and riders will be required to take an online safety course before their first hire.
Yeah.
I don't know why these people have made this. So it is. Now let me get it right. It's rental. So these are not. These are rental. You cannot privately own these things.
Despite
I go
the
to
fact
work.
that I've seen loads.
They're everywhere. They're in the parks.
Yes.
They're on pavements, driven by twats with no helmets, no training, no insurance.
I did see one
like
twat come off.
Oh,
his
did you?
scooter, though.
Did you?
Yeah.
See, what I want to do is slow down my car, wind it down, and make the noise of the bully in The Simpsons. Ha ha! Wind the window down but up. I just carry. I don't know. I don't actually have a car
He
that does
tried
this,
to
but-
mount a pavement, thinking possibly trying to do a wheelie, and no
Nice.
word of a lie, the scooter
Yes.
flipped over, and sparks came on it as it slid across the pavement. It was
Beautiful.
so cool.
Beautiful. Look, they're everywhere. People have got no training. They've got no insurance, no helmets. You're supposed to. If you're the higher people, you're supposed to have a car license minimum. They haven't got that. There's also a git near me that rides a fucking electric unicycle.
Yeah, you said.
I want to kill him. I see him all the time. I was like, you dickhead. Get off the road. You're going to get squished. And the best one I saw, and I posted it on the Car-Boyz Facebook page. Make sure you subscribe to the Car-Boyz Facebook page, and also like us and comment below on this on YouTube. Get it in while I can. It was at a level crossing, and it was Dad with an electric scooter with his son in front. He's got a helmet on. The son hasn't. The son's about 7 years old. The mum with an electric scooter. She's got a helmet on her back. I would guess an 18-month-old baby. And we're on the road, and I'm sitting there looking at this thing going, I used to live in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
You would see families, not in the centre of Bangkok, but you go out into the countryside in Thailand or Indonesia, and you'd see Dad with Mum, and then a baby in the basket like this on the front, and this is like an 80cc Honda Dream, and then Nana on the back, or one guy with, I don't know, 4,000 bales of hay on the back of his scooter. So that's a developing middle income country, not supposedly a civilized
Mm.
I think it's absolutely mad. And well, good luck with that, people that do it.
Oh, damn. Moving on, and we're moving on to yes, I know it's motorbikes. It's a motorbike news story. It's one of the big screen's most iconic motorcycles. It's set to go under the hammer. Oh, look at that! And get your motor running, head out on the highway. It's going under the hammer in the US next month. It remains plenty controversial about whether it's a genuine article, though. It's said that the only remaining Captain America Harley Davidson used in the 1969 film Easy Rider, ridden
There
by
it is.
actor Peter Fonda, who played Wyatt in the Dennis Hopper directed movie. I never realised that he directed the movie.
Yeah.
Uh, However, the scale of motorcycle comes just 7 years after a different bike, also claiming to be one of the only survived filming. In 2014, another motorcycle claiming it was the only existing Captain America from 1969 was sold to California-based Profiles in History for a substantial sum of 1.35 million
Whoa.
pounds, the biggest fee paid for a motorcycle at an auction. This example claiming to be the real deal, though, will go on the auction block at Dan Cruz Classics sale in Midland, Texas. If you want to go and get involved with that, it's on the 5th of June, and a guide price of $300,000 to $500,000 with no reserve price, meaning it has to sell. The bike has even been issued with a certificate of authenticity from Dan Hegarty, who starred in Easy Rider and rebuilt this bike. He's also the star of the TV series Grizzly Adams.
Yeah.
Easy Rider's a Cult
So,
69
so it's another cultural
American.
reference for the millennials
Yes.
there.
Where two bikers travel through America's Southwest carrying the proceeds of a drug deal. Designed and built by Cliff Warks and Ben Hardy, not the actor Ben Hardy,
No.
who played Roger Taylor in Bohemian Rhapsody. For former
You see, I know who Ben Hardy is, the motorcycle designer, and when I googled his name, this dickhead actor came up. I had no
he was in
no idea.
EastEnders, yeah.
Was he?
Yeah,
I
he
had
was
no
in
idea.
EastEnders.
I don't want. I don't. I'm definitely not down with the kids. I went. Oh, you know Ben Hardy. Yeah, yeah. One of the black guys that designed the Captain America Easy Rider bike. Yeah.
Four former police Harley Davidson motorcycles were purchased at auction for $500 and rebuilt into two Captain Americas and two Billy bikes. So there you go, beautiful bikes.
So it was these guys, Cliff Vaughns and Ben Hardy,
Yes.
were black bikers that got the gig off Dennis Hopper to design the bikes.
Oh, okay.
I know we're a car show, but I thought we'd indulge my love
Yeah.
of choppers. So the Captain America is one over here being driven. That's by Peter Fonda, and the other bike, this one here, it
Is
hasn't
it
got the
Lemmy from
eight pan.
Motorhead?
That's Lemmy from Motorhead. No, that's Dennis Hopper, and he's driving the the Billy bike, which was the traditional style that black motorcyclists at the time drove. So the
Okay.
black, and there were black chapters. Not, I don't think of the Hell's Angels, but of biker groups, and
Yeah.
they drove the sort of handlebars straight out there, as opposed to the ape hangers that Peter Fonda's got.
Mm.
And Peter Fonda's bike in the movie, I think this is the one that was destroyed at the end, because they both the guys meet. It's not going to be. I'm not going to be spoil it for anybody. The
No.
film's been out since 1969. Spoiler alert. Stop now if you've never seen Easy Rider. But they don't. Do you know, this happened to me the other day? I had a friend of mine that was going to see that Agatha Christie play, The Mousetrap, and I think the
Yeah.
play's 80 years old. And I went, ha ha ha, the policeman did it. And he went, what? And I went, oh, for fuck's sake, did you not know the ending? Anyway, like, you know, if I'm going to talk about Hamlet, he doesn't fare well. Same with Macbeth. He doesn't come
Yes.
out of it. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert. Lady Macbeth also cops it. So yeah, this was. They think this is the one that was rebuilt by the guy that played Grizzly Adams, Dan Haggerty,
Okay.
who's also in Easy Rider. I want to go and see Easy Rider now. It's a great movie. It's very and
Mm.
another and I'm being really geeky here. I do have a love of this film. Another Tony Basil, who had a hit with
Hey,
Hey
Mickey.
Mickey.
Mickey. Yeah,
She
that's
is in
right.
Easy Rider.
Really?
She is Dennis Hopper's girlfriend. Well, the prostitute they pick up right at the end. That's Tony Basil. She's about 18 years old. Very cool, isn't it? Very cool.
That's a good bit of
And
trivia.
then finally, Asian Mr. Bean hates classic car
Again,
news. Yes, I can't
he's
get
getting
enough
too
of
much
it.
coverage on this show.
I'm hoping he gets in next time.
Uh,
Hopefully the Londoners will go and lynch him. Mayor Sadiq Khan, ultra low emission zone, one of these, which is being introduced this autumn, set to extend across London in a little over 5 months. Classic car experts have warned it could see some collectible models wiped from the capital's roads. From the 25th of October this year, ULEZ will expand to cover the entire hugely populated area of the north to the south circulars. Drivers of non-compliant cars are forced to cough up a daily charge of £12.50 each time they use their ineligible vehicles. Now, cars older than 40 years old are exempt, but more modern classics are in the firing line. ULEZ would see
what?
post-1981 cars, including Mini Coopers, Porsches, 924s, 944s, 80s hot hatches like Peugeot 205 GTI, and appreciating models from the 90s like early MX-5s and UNOS Roadsters disappear from London streets. ULEZ will undoubtedly result in there being few cars from the 1980s, 1990s, and noughties in the capital. There's no resident discount, and the £12.50 charge applies 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Historical vehicles aged 40 years or older are exempt from the daily charge. However, as we know, as we always say on this show, many classics are made after 81, and owners of these and retro cars will be stung by the new motoring tax. That comes in despite many cars only being used to cover low miles per year and being used at times when traffic is lower and pollution is lower. Even those driving their classic just once every weekend would run up a bill annually of £650.
Wow.
And the Daily Mail covered this, and they had a great picture of a young guy who bought a 1996 Hyundai Elantra.
Yeah.
It was his first car, and he's only like 18, 19, and the car, there's only 7 of these left in the UK, and he's going to have to get rid of it because he lives in the ULEZ zone.
I got to apologise for my little senior moment there, because you did say cars are 40 years old, and I was going, what? And then I had a stark realisation in my head that realised that actually I'm a bit older than that.
Just a bit, as am I. But isn't that the most frightening concept, that I think there's old guys and old people, and I don't mean like geriatric. I think there's a lot of people that are not on that haven't got one of these, that are like 58 going.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Nobody's unless you are paying close attention to this subject, nobody's telling anybody else that they are knackered by October. I've got a friend that has a diesel Polo that's 2015 is having to sell it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because it doesn't comply.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Brilliant,
Absolutely
isn't it?
amazing.
Don't you just love London?
Well done, Sadiq Khan.
Exactly. Well, and all you people that voted for him, you're fools!
It's like they're in my room right now.
It's like they're in the room, isn't it? They've been invigorated. Thank you, boys! 3, 2, 1. It's like they've been invigorated, isn't it? Yes.
I could hear all the brushes on the hi-hats.
Like a bit of jazz. Hang on, I've got to go like that and go, nice. Nice. That ages me.
Again, reference that some people will not know what
I
that
don't
is.
care. I don't make this programs for millennials. If I did, I'd be tweaking my ass on, what is it called, TikTok. And I don't do that either. I can for a fee, though, to be honest. I'm a right whore. Time now on the show for the classic car selection. We're going to take a vehicle that's not considered a classic, put it on a pedestal, and see if it can be your cherished motors. Maybe you will take it to your heart. It could be a 2-seater sports car from the 60s or a 1990s executive saloon. It's fallen out of favour, but what it will be is a diamond in the rough. We'll polish up it to be our honoured classic car selection of the week. This week, the government tries to ban all cars unless they run on polar bear tears or unicorn smiles. We turn the clock back to my daughter would love that. We turn the clock back to a time when men could be men. Around 2015, a time when driving a large vehicle implied you had a large portion. This obviously doesn't apply to Simon, who drives a Mini, but is hung like a donkey, allegedly. Yes, before the smart car, before the G-Wiz, and before the Tesla, men, especially working class men who work with their hands, all drove trucks, and the truck they desired was if you're listening in America, it'll be a Ford F-150.
Mm.
But over here, it was the iconic Toyota Hilux. Yes, our classic car selection of the week is a pickup truck.
Yay!
There she is.
Oh, look at the cab on the back.
I know. You got to get the cab on the back, and you got to get the double cab as well. But more about that later. The Hilux is as much a byword for pickup trucks as the Ford Transit is for panel vans. This has become about by the Hilux seemingly having been on sale since Noah needed to nip down to the timber merchants. But it's also been based on an unerring ability and rugged construction. Now, so reliable is the Hilux that not only is it the workhorse for the third world, but also it's been known to be the version of the tank. The Gulf War, the Arab Spring, and conflicts as far afield as Papua New Guinea to the Gaza Strip have involved the Toyota Hilux as a means for delivering troops, firing machine guns, and at times launching ground-to-air missiles. So robust is this vehicle that in 1987 the Chadian army fought Libya with only Hilux trucks and Land Cruisers in what became known as the Toyota War. I'm surprised the Japanese didn't run. Our vehicles are so tough, they can fight in war in Africa. We've decided not to focus, though, on the pre-2005 earlier versions as they are very agricultural and, although reliable, are properly a pickup truck and drive as such. But post-2005, the vehicles get a very car-like make for a cheaper, if not as luxurious version of the Land Cruiser. Now, if the Toyota Hilux loses out to some newer rivals when it comes to driving, it competes head on with them for quality and the construction of the cabin. Everything inside the Hilux has got a solid feel. It helps the Hilux to continue to find buyers to this day. The Hilux should be a dependable friend. It's had hardly any recalls since it first came out and since the launch of this version in 2005. Each model has the same dash design layout. There's sturdy large dials for heating, clear instruments, and easy to use column stalks, even if you're wearing gloves as a builder. For the passengers, comfort is good. The Hilux comes with driver and passenger airbags. There's a choice of two turbo diesel engines. You have the 2.5 litre and the 3-litre versions. The 2.5 is the more common unit, and that's got a 144 PS on tap, 3,400 RPM, a hefty 343 Newton meters of torque, delivering quite a giddy 2,800 RPM. It means you've really got to sort of work the engine quite hard to give it some beans. What you should look out for, and what should you pay for one of these? Well, they reckon get it serviced every 20,000 miles, but we'd recommend just every single year. Automatic boxes benefit from a fluid change at around 60,000 miles, which is standard. Cam belts need changing at 90,000 and cost about 200 quid plus VAT, which is cheap as chips. The reason being the engine bays are so big. Water pumps typically last 150,000 miles. There's hardly anything goes wrong with these, but check the prop shafts being greased and the couplings of greasing points, as they're typically overlooked when servicing. If the front one dries up, it can lead to failing and cracking the gearbox casing, which will result in expensive fix. It's rare though. A full service should cost you 250 quid plus VAT. Keep on top of that, and the Hilux shouldn't present any issues. Also, well, we're always trying to say this: buy a car, buy a vehicle, buy a van with no tow bar. Then you know it's not been towing the QE2. Make sure it's got regular full service history. And how much for one of these tough vehicles? Well, £5,000 will get you a 2005 vehicle with almost 250,000 miles, but that's not necessarily a bad thing if it's been looked after. These babies have been known to reach the 1,000,000-mile mark. Ooh. Now, spend up to £10,000, and we found a very good car. This is the one we found. Oh. This is super low miles. I think 65,000 on the clock. 2010 HL3 2010 double cab pickup. The desirable one. The 2.5 D/D4 engine. A shade under £10,000, and that is a hell of a lot of car that will drive you from here to the end of the world. It could be the very last car you buy as well, because you cannot kill these things. They keep going and going and going and going. And, you know, it is not going to be as comfortable as a Land Cruiser, but try and buy a 11-year-old Land Cruiser for £10,000 and you're going to struggle.
It's my hope that in this utopia that they want us to have all these electric vehicles, all that will be left of normal vehicles would be the Toyota Hilux.
And it is something I am seriously... I looked at a 2015 the other day, for the proper double cab with the back on it in black, 32,000 on the clock. It had been used. The liner was in immaculate condition. It was £15,000.
Nice.
And they drive very much like cars. So you're thinking, well, this could be something that I get involved with. Who knows?
Japanese, reliable.
They're also, I think, they
drive it in the desert and it'd be fine.
The newer ones. Yeah, you drive it anywhere. You can have this from now until the end of time. So yes, that's what we would recommend. And I may be buying one of those very soon. I'm gonna have to go and do a little test drive. I do like a Hilux. I think my wife would moan. She wouldn't be able to park it anywhere. She'd be going, "What is this?"
It's fine. One of you will stand on the top with machine guns. Get the kids on board.
The kids at the back with the RPG.
You'll find a space.
I'll be like the Gaza Strip. It'd be fantastic with the rockets going off. I'm trying to find some music now because I believe it is time for Pick of the Pups.
It is.
There we go. Excuse me. I would like to say it's a computer. No, it's my thick fingers playing up. So, of course, Pick of the Pups means...
Oh, bassy.
That was a bassy one, wasn't it? I think something's happened to our Pick of the Pups. Hang on. There we go. Here we go. No. No, it's gone all pear-shaped.
So while you're doing that, I will do the intro.
You carry on. I'll get the music.
As Rich said, it's time where we examine the terrible crimes committed against cars across the world. From driving a 1988 Nissan Micra, I actually saw a blue 1988 Nissan Micra today in Clapham Junction. Whether you've got run flat tyres on it for the rest of its life, or even putting sawdust into the gearbox, we basically find a car for sale.
I do apologise.
Across the world. A terrible car that is there to mount the pile of feces to be crowned the glorious king of the hill. It's time on Car-Boyz, as Rich said, for the pub of the week, aka...
the turd of the week!
Oh, we need to go premium. This week we had to...
We do. You're not wrong. We ain't got no budget for premium, fool.
This week we had an email from Brian in Birmingham. Hello, Brian from Birmingham. He said he saw his motor for sale on a popular auction site.
I know. That's quite dramatic. One more. Wow. I'd call a doctor after that one.
He has found on a public auction site what's Botoranda? Botoranda. It sounds weird. It's a Botoranda. I know.
Yeah, that popular auction website, Botoranda.
Yes. I get it now. I know. I was distracted by the. He thinks this is the worst pickup truck he's ever seen. He used to be a builder. We now picked up this car because we have the sort of pickup theme on this week's show.
Yes.
Talking about the Hilux. There's a 21-year-old Ford Ranger, which is VREG 2.5 litre diesel regular cab pickup. Regular cab pickup, two-wheel drive, two-door. This has had a very solid 4-stranded diesel. So it should be an excellent runner even after 20 years, especially at the cost of a mere 350 of your British sterling pounds. So, Rich, why should you buy this?
Well, in a word, you shouldn't. For a start, there isn't one picture of this car in its entirety. I've got angles and bits and pieces of the car, but I haven't got... Actually, look at that for a start. I haven't got the whole picture of the car, which makes me very suspicious. Then there's the advert. No MOT, on Sawn for over a year. Dents and age-related marks. Ideal export. Decent runner. Silver. 5+ owners. £350. Let's start from back to front. The advert states 5+ owners, which could mean 6 or it could mean 176, who knows. Then it states decent runner. Well, if it is, why has it not been registered on the road for over a year, which again could mean 10 years. The advert then goes on to state issues and age-related marks, which brings us to why this car is off the road. And as Simon was just showing you...
do you know what that reminded me of?
Go on.
That big gap in the panels.
Yes. A Ford.
No. It reminded me of Eddie Murphy's teeth.
Hey! That's great. There he is. Hey, you want to get in my car, baby? Hey, you a man with a dick? Get in my car! Get in my car, baby! Get in my car, baby! Um, sorry, he never did that. That was an impression of somebody else. Not at all Eddie Murphy driving down Ventura Boulevard. Hey, lady, get in my car! Um,
Look at that.
the advert goes, yes, so he's got this huge gap like Eddie Murphy's teeth. The advert goes on to state issues and age-related marks, which brings us to why this car is off the road. There's a huge dent in the offside driver's wing. The panel gap seems to scream right off to me. Also, the seller states ideal export, which is...
To where?
Why? Because it's never going to get back on the road this side of the sub-Saharan Africa, where the road laws are a little more lax, to say the least. No, this baby is two-wheel drive as well. What's the point of a pickup truck that's two-wheel drive?
No.
That's been hit by something really badly at some point. And I guarantee he has not taken this in. This is, I guarantee, a category write-off. But he hasn't taken it in. So I said congratulations to Brian for picking this crappy pickup truck. Look at the inside of this. It looks filthy.
Oh,
It's our pup of the
that's
week, I'm
crap.
afraid, and shall be honoured as such with a farty sound if I can cue it up on time. Hey, get in my car, baby! Get in my car! I just love a chicken. Get in the goddamn car, baby! All I can now think of is Eddie Murphy Raw and the Mr. T. Do you have ever seen Eddie Murphy Raw? He does a little bit about Mr. T, who is a fine
Yes.
figure of a fella.
Obviously.
Right, and it's time now for Lost Highways, and now
Yes,
now
Lost
I'm all
Highways.
over the place with my musical playlist. So I have to find. And here we go. This is let's see. Now we haven't. Yeah. Here we go. So I'm reckon it's about here on the music. I should have. This is the one you like. I think this is going to be the right music for us. Let's cue it up. Here we go. Ooh-ha. Get in the car, baby! No, sorry. Oh, yeah, man. Ooh-ha. Mr. Foley. Sorry, I'm just going through every Eddie Murphy film I know. Ooh-ha.
Oh, it's still going on.
That's all right.
There you go.
There you go.
This is, of course. This is a section of the show where listeners email us in and give us their favourite roads and the reasons why they love them. It could be a quite coastal road that leads down to the sea. Alternatively, it can be a straight two-lane blacktop that leads to infinity and invites you to gun the pedal to the metal. Whatever your poison is, let us know your perfect driver roads here on the Boys of the Car. And
Yes.
Rich, you have the details.
Oh,
Do you
I
have
do.
the details?
Sorry, I'm just queuing up my musical beds again. I'm getting excited for the audience section of the show. No, that's not the wrong one. Yes, of course, you can get in touch with the Car-Boyz. Email the Car-Boyz at car-boys@outlook.com. Car-Boyz always with a Z. Facebook, car-boys at car-boys with 4 Zs. Twitter, car-boys at car_boys with Z. Instagram at car_boys with the 3 Zs. I think that's the porno one. And 4 had gone, so we had to reduce it to 3.
Yes, there you go. First in the Highways inbox this week,
subscribe.
we have Wishbone365 who says, "Dear Car-Boys, listening to Lost Highways reminds me of the time I went to Montenegro via the border with Croatia. This is what it looks like. Debili Brijeg is the Montenegrin border control, and Karasvok Visi is the Croatian border control. It hits around 5 kilometers between the two checkpoints. It's a border crossing where most people use because it lies on the Adriatic highway that connects the two countries. The road has a collection of serpentine twists and turns leading to a hole in crash barrier. Nice. The sea 100 feet below. The route is clear blue water on one side and the view of the islands in the distance. The Adriatic highway has to be seen to believe. It swoops down close to the shoreline before climbing high above cliff tops. I was going to break into the Rainbow song there. After nothing but a sheer drop on one side of the sea below. It's a beautiful place. Obviously, it was a bit war-torn a few years ago.
Yeah, my parents used to go to Croatia.
Really?
Yeah, and they loved it. They said it's a poor man's It's a rich man's Greece and a poor man's Italy, but
Ooh.
really, really under the islands there. In fact, if you watch the Mamma Mia movies, then you're obviously a home. No, you're obviously
You
you're
come
obviously
for obviously Piers Brosnan singing.
la 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 la. Dancing Queen. And what I don't know what he's. I've never seen these films. I actually know I know people that worked on that film, and I've got a story about that which I won't say on air, but it's very
Yes,
funny.
I've heard. Yes,
Yeah. Oh, you've heard about that one?
you
Yes.
told me.
Yes. You're not 007 anymore. All I'll say is very beautiful scenery around there. My parents
Mm.
loved it, and the beach is a beautiful gold, very undisturbed, and yeah, it looks like an exciting driving road. Now I'm confused because this one you've done, and you've
Yes,
given me
yes,
this one.
yes.
Now, Raj from Haringey, North London, says, Dear Car-Boys, one of you has been hiding a secret from my viewers. My favourite highway is the B9 in Mauritius. Located on
Ooh.
the south coast of Mauritius, the beautiful island of Mauritius, the B9 road is a must for doing any for a must do for anyone. It's a tremendous coastal road with some mind-blowing landscapes. On the left side of the road is wild vegetation, on the right a beautiful beach. It's the one of the most scenic coastal drives in the world. The road is also known as the Maconde Road, or Maconde, and is totally Maconde. It's French, isn't it? Is
Yeah.
totally paved. It's 39.3 kilometres. Let's round it up and say 40. Along winding the sensational southern shoreline, it runs from Sulac, a village on the Savane district, north towards Grande Rivière Noire, the Rivière Noire or Black River district. Located on the southwest tip of the country, the winding road along the Basalt Cliffs or even basalt cliffs is an absolutely extraordinary experience. Skirting the Indian Ocean, facing Mauritian shoreline, the road offers some of the most spectacular views in Mauritius and the lovely island of Mauritius, and probably the world. This this comfortable and secure road offers the opportunity to lay your eyes on the vast spread of turquoise waters and luxurious vegetation. It looks beautiful. Now, the reason I say this
Yeah.
is because I've never been to Mauritius, Simon.
I
You
have.
have. Have you been on this road?
I have. Well,
You may
I
have done, but you don't remember.
may have done. Yes, because I think the last time I've been there was about 25 years ago, number one. And number two, I would have been probably too young to drive. So,
So you've got no. It's difficult
so
to
no
put a.
experience. Yeah.
And what is it like Well, so you don't know how it's like driving in Mauritius. Is it pretty sort of
Well,
westernized?
and now it has, but I
Right.
can remember when it was the days that your taxi was a Morris Oxford.
Mm,
Lots of them,
of
Austin,
course.
Cambridge, Morris Oxfords, they
Yes.
were the taxis of
Okay.
choice.
Okay. Very interesting. I assume that's all changed. Um,
Yes, hopefully.
I know people. The other good reason to go to Mauritius.
Mm,
The only thing I know is I talked to a guy in a pub once, and he said, it's the time difference isn't too bad.
4 hours, yeah.
Yeah, so that's okay. So you don't get the jet lag with it. So
Yeah.
go to the wonderful island, as Henry Kelly would have said, the holiday island of Mauritius. You can win that. You're on going for gold. Nurse, where's the pub? So that was Lost Highways. I will quickly pull out. No, not that one. This one. Get in touch with Lost Highways. You can email the Car-Boyz at outlook.com, Facebook, yeah, all of that, all of that. Just press pause.
Yes.
And now I believe it is time to answer your letters. If I can get it queued up right. No, I can't get it queued. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I'm going to get it queued up right. Let's try it.
That's a bollocks.
And what I've done there is re-record that because the last time. I didn't do that version. Well, I did
Is that how you
re-record that.
re-recorded it? How did you record that?
I did some thrash guitar at the end. And,
Dave in Dorchester says, "All
oh,
right, boys of the car. I'm thinking of buying a small car for my daughter. She has just graduated from uni and is looking
nice.
for work. So if you need someone, his daughter's the lady for you. She just graduated and she has to get to job interviews and a part-time job at a local supermarket. What do you reckon I should go for? She's got around 1,500. Hang on a minute. She's got £1,500 to spend
on a car?
I think the father should pay it. I think Dave, you should pay for this as a graduation present.
Excuse me, I've got children, and they may refer back to this archived video in 20 years' time and
Yes.
say, "Well, you said
Ask
that."
Daddy.
No, I didn't. I think my father. I bought my first car, and then my dad paid for the insurance for the first year.
Oh, okay.
I think that'd be a better deal because I
Mm.
think the insurance will be more than 1,500 quid.
I think the ULEZ in well, by the time the kids drive
Oh, in
will
Dorchester,
be
yeah, it'll
very
reach everywhere.
crippling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, no, my children, they'll be. Of course, we'll all be living on the moon with Elon Musk. Um,
So £1,500 to
Yeah, gonna get you
spend.
much. I mean, I'd always say
Mm.
Japanese reliability, low insurance, and most importantly, insurance. So you need to find a car that's cheap. Honda Jazz, Honda
Mm.
Toyota Aygo, old Hyundai, old Suzuki. This is the one I
Yeah,
found.
Suzuki Swift. Yeah.
2003 Toyota Yaris. With an auto box, which brings down
Ooh.
the insurance. 57 on the clock, full service history, 3 owners, very good condition, £1,500. Cheap, reliable car.
Yep.
Make sure you get one of those satellite boxes fitted by the insurance company because that
Will
drastically
reduce your
reduces your
premium.
premium. And it's 1,500 quid car. It's your first car. You're going to scrape it.
Yes. Don't be too precious.
And
1,500 quid.
yeah, and
Yeah.
don't start thinking that you can afford a 1. I remember my mate. We were at university. Came home with. He said I bought a car, so he had a Daihatsu, tiny little Daihatsu Charade.
Charade. Yeah.
Yeah, Charade. He got rid of that, and he came. I bought a new car, Rich, and I walk outside, and there is the most beautiful car I had ever seen. A 3 litre Ford
Oh.
Capri in
Yes.
orange with a black bonnet, a matte black bonnet.
Fantastic.
Oh my god, we went out with it, and yeah, yeah. He couldn't get insurance on it, and he had to take it back to the garage, and then he came back with a brown
Oh,
Saab.
nice.
So yeah, just bear that in mind. Bear that in mind. Mary in Cornwall says, "Hi guys, love the show. I have clicked and liked and am now subscribed. Well done, Mary. She wants some advice on tyre pressure for her car. She has a 2010 Honda Jazz. She has no idea about tyre pressure, and she usually just puts 30 psi all round. Honda Jazz, I know this
Yes.
because my mother has one, and all
Ah,
Honda
okay.
have a little card like that stamped
Yes.
into the door jamb on the driver's side. And I'll tell you what the pressure should be, like this. So you can see from this, normally with 5 people in and what looks like a sticker
If you've
brick,
got five robots
5 robots and
and
a bit of Lego in it,
yeah,
it should be 32 psi at the front and 30 in
in
the
the rear,
back. Obviously, in winter you want to put a little bit more in because
temperature changes.
temperature changes and the air contracts, and then in the summer it expands. And then obviously at the end, it's if you are towing a caravan, you shouldn't be driving a Honda Jazz. That would like 32 at the front and 38 at the back. Make sure you check every other month, at least if you're driving on because you could be driving on a slowy, dangerous,
Yeah.
and deflated tyres make your car
Blowout.
drive poorly, cause you to use more fuel. Although there's a lack of garages at the moment, I find it increasingly difficult to find a
Mm,
garage that has an air pump working.
yes. Although now they've taken the restrictions off, so you can use the air pump and you can use the jet wash as well.
Oh yes, you can. What I have is a tiny little compressor that plugs into the cigarette lighter, and I carry
Yeah.
in my car, and I have used that on occasion, but it
Ah,
it does make a noise.
like a motorbike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it your one next? It is your
It
one.
is. It's Simon from Elephant and Castle. He emails us in and he says his sister is looking for a decent car.
Okay.
Decent car. She wants a reliable car, but it won't cost the earth to run. Mostly for town driving, but
Okay.
versatile enough to pick three friends up to go to festivals when the time
Oh.
comes. Her budget is £5,000. So it's quite a
Oh.
bit of money. Yeah.
Okay. So what would you'd probably push it towards a Ford, wouldn't you?
No, I did converse with this
Oh.
person. Did converse with her, and actually did say the Honda Civic because it's
Yeah, the Honda Civic's got a bit more guts. My mum
yeah.
has the old version of this, the old Jazz, and
Okay.
she's got the SRI,
Yeah.
which has got a 1.2. It's all right, but there's times when you feel you want a little bit more. How old are we talking? Is she over 21?
She's over 21, yes.
Okay, so
Not quite sure,
I'd probably say
but
this.
older.
I looked at. You see, I'd traditionally say Honda, Toyota, but Koreans are making some nice cars. Hyundai and Kia are very reliable. So if you don't want to spend too much, Getz and Amica, you can get those for a couple of grand. But I found this one, and
Ooh.
I think this is very nice. This is a 2017
Ooh.
Hyundai
Is it the
i10. That's the
i10?
i10.
Yeah.
That's a manual box. That's quite sporty, and that
Yeah.
has
Five
a
doors.
it has 5 doors, and it's also got, I think it's got the 1.4 litre engine,
Nice.
which is a bit more sportier. This is the sportier version, and I think that's a very good car. I mean,
That is
that
nice.
was 6 for that one, so maybe that had full service history, about 33,000 on the clock. That's a heck of a lot of car for 6 cars.
Yeah.
See, to me, that's a new car. I mean, look, the alloys look perfect. That's
It's
a
got
nice
a touch
looking
of the
car.
John Cooper works going on with the
Yeah,
red
I like all
red
the
flashes on
completely
that. Yeah.
robbed off Mini, but yeah, go for it. I just hear good things about Hyundai all the time. So,
Mm,
also when you're buying the car,
yes.
make sure the engine bay is clean. Make sure the car is clean. Um, if there's no scratches, if the wheels like this are not being curbed, then the person that owns that looked after that
Yeah.
car, and they've probably not ragged the engine. Also, what you want is a Church of England sticker or a National Trust badge, and then you know an old person's had it, and it's been babied, it's been
Yes.
looked after. Finally, we have Teddy in Edinburgh.
Oh, hello, Teddy.
Hello, Teddy. He's got a 2006 Skoda Superb
Superb.
2.5 litre diesel, 98k on the clock. It's been fun. He's really loved it, and he wants to get a people carrier, so he reckons it's worth around £2,000. What do you think is the best way to sell a car? Internet, local newspaper, or sign in a shop?
I still think. I mean, I don't know if there's any Skoda Superb clubs out there, but I know certainly the last few cars I've had,
Yeah.
I've been part of the owners clubs.
Really?
So
Ah.
send them off to send that thing saying I've got this. Even if you want it for parts, just tell me what you want. So internet is a useful tool, but
You did drive a lot
you
of
also have
forklifts,
some
though. Yes, parts. Sorry.
and have some lots of time wasters on it. But I generally go for the internet. Internet
Okay.
can be good.
I so my father had I've the last 2 cars I've sold have been through Gumtree.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
also put a really nice note on the side of the car and the back and the front window, but not just for sale. I put the price, I put what it's got.
Yeah.
I sold my Escort years ago doing that. The guy from around the corner went, "I love this car. Can I buy it?" I was like, "How much do you want?" I was like, 550. Went, "Will you accept 500?" I was like, "Yes." Um, oh, I know, I shouldn't have sold it, but this was
Add a zero onto that.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, you would these days, but it was covered in rust, mate. This is the same car I was fixing holes in the bulkhead with chicken wire
Bulkhead.
and plastic padding. Let's not talk about that. So my father had a Honda Civic Coupe that he was selling to buy my Honda Civic Coupe that was a few years younger. So he said, "Oh, how do I sell my old one?" So I got a picture. I got him to send me a picture of his car, and then I
Mm.
just took pictures of the inside of my car, which was exactly the same model, and then I put it all together in an advert. I think we put it for 950. I put it on Gumtree. But you've got to put everything about it. You've got to
Yeah.
sell it. You've got to wash the bloody thing.
Yeah.
Wipe round the engine bay with a load of wet wipes, because that's the best thing. Gets all the grease and the crap off. Clean the inside. Clean the carpets. Clean the inside. Get it nice and clean. Take loads and loads and loads and loads of photos. Take things like I look at a car. I look at how to condition the alloys. So I want pictures of the alloys. I want
Mm.
pictures of the engine bay. If you look at Hemmings, which is a big American online seller, they have something like every time you look at one of their cars, they've got something like 120 pictures. There's like angle.
Every wheel, every
If you have a
tire.
problem and you want to highlight it, take a picture of it's got a slight dent on the side. Take a picture of that.
Yeah.
Then the guy, you're not wasting anybody's time. Guy
Mm.
came out. I think he got it for 900. They bought it from a dad. The advert was also, I think Teddy would have to pay a bit more, but Gumtree used to be free for cars under 1,500 quid. They may have
Oh,
raised
cool.
that.
Yeah.
And you just sell the car, and that was it. Lovely. But yeah, clean the car before you sell it.
Yeah.
I had got a steal of the deal on my first car that had been mothballed in Edinburgh for 3 years. They didn't clean it, and I
Mm.
went 1,200 quid. They went okay. They bit my hand
Yeah.
off, and it
Yeah.
was all I had to do
Gets
was
with the car.
was clean the car. He was a rich guy anyway. He didn't even need the money, but just clean the damn thing. It's not the hardest thing in the world. So there you go. Usual name, usual address. There we go. For all the stuff. Am I holding that right? Because
Yep.
I'm simulcasting here. And yes, that's it. Thank you for all your letters. And okay, let's see if this is going to work. How about that? Keep it going as music as well.
Fantastic.
The technology we discover. Over to Simon.
Hey. It is time for the quiz on Car-Boyz, where we're going to test your brain cells with the big quiz. I'm your host, Red Todgers. Thank you. Yes, I know it sounds rude, Red Todgers. Yeah. But that was the name I was given. So if I was Bruce Forsyth, it would be like, come on, bit more. I'm going to give our contestant a clue, which you might get in a crossword, which should lead you to the name of the car or a vehicle. So, for example, if I gave you the clue as Spanish Party, that's Spanish Party.
Fiesta, Ford Fiesta.
Yes, so the word you're looking for is Ford Fiesta. That wasn't one of the things. Yes, so that's the Spanish word for party, and hopefully it won't be as tenuous as 3, 2, 1 and my namesake. Our contestant is Rich from Southwest London. Rich, are you getting good at crosswords?
No.
Oh.
Not really.
Then this should be interesting.
I find them tedious.
Well, I was going to do a Sudoku one, but that involved numbers, so we can do that for another time. This week you are playing for
I'm not here.
We are playing for a Fiesta, but it is a rally Fiesta.
See, that's quite nice. I don't mind that. What I could do is give that to my son, and he could just destroy it.
Take one of the wheels off.
Oh yeah,
the spoiler off.
I am missing. Now again, this will only appeal to people over the age of 40. I have an original Matchbox Starsky and Hutch car that he has completely destroyed. I've lost it's kicked in the front window. It's only about this big. I don't know what he's been doing with it. Chewing
Stepped on it.
No respect. They give me no respect.
So here we go. That's the prize for this week. It's a Ford Fiesta. Nice. So question number 1. I will give you clues if you need any help. The first clue is, hopefully you can see that, a type of insect.
A locust?
Type of insect.
A beetle?
Who is it?
Beetle.
Let's see if it's a beetle. It is a beetle!
Yay!
Yeah, well done by Volkswagen. It's the Volkswagen Beetle.
That's my favourite beetle, that is.
1 out of 1. Okay, question number 2. We're looking for a male sheep.
It's a ram. A Dodge Ram.
So, let's see if it's a Dodge Ram.
Hey.
Yay!
Hey.
It's not as bad as you
simple people. I'm doing well.
Yes. Okay, a little bit more taxing now. Question number 3. We're looking for a spitting snake.
Oh, a Ford Cobra. A Shelby Cobra.
It is. There you go, Shelby Cobra.
Hey. Oh, AC Cobra.
Beautiful.
Do you think any exist that aren't kit cars? Are they all kit cars?
I don't know. I think a lot of them are. Yeah, a lot of them
Amazing.
AC or the Shelby Cobra. There you go. Cobra was the word we were looking for. Okay, slightly harder now. Question number 4. We're looking for an international agreement. What's another word for an
Accord? A Honda Accord.
Yes, see, better than you thought you were at this.
Oh, what a motor that is. That's the old version. I drive the more modern version of that with it and 19-inch alloys.
Okay, so far 4 out of 4. Question number 5. This is an easy one. You should get this one. We're looking for, it could be one of 2, but we're not a wild horse.
Stallion, wild horse, prancing horse. Wild horse.
A wild horse. Another
pony. Hyundai pony.
Not quite the pony we're looking for.
Hang on. No. So
it was referred to as a pony car.
Mustang.
Yes,
Mustang.
there you go. Bullet Mustang there for you.
Fastback. Nice.
Yes, there you go. Question number 6. We are now looking for a fluorescent advertising gas. Bit cryptic, that one.
Oh, fluorescent.
Think of gas, what glows in the dark. Gas used in
Uh,
advertising a lot.
hang on. Hang on. It's not fluorescent. It's. Oh, I'm
Would
having
you
a
like a
brain freeze.
clue?
Yes, please.
It's 4 letters long. It's by Chrysler.
Oh,
Chrysler did
neon.
it.
Neons. Yeah, Chrysler neon.
Yes, the awful Chrysler
Yes.
Neon.
Meh, meh,
Yes.
which I think has got a
Oh.
Mitsubishi engine in front wheel drive.
Oh.
Do you know, when I was a child, I actually suggested my dad get one of those as a company car. And do you know what he said? I'd seen an advert. I was only about 12 or something. And I went, "Oh, Dad, you should get one of those." And do you know what he said to me? He said, "No." He ended up with a 2.9 litre automatic Granada Scorpio.
Much better.
A man's car. No.
Well done. So 6 out of 6 so far.
Cool.
Question number 7. Another term for a long silvery fish with sharp teeth.
It's got to be a CUDA. Is it a CUDA? Barracuda!
I'm going to dig out my Heart albums later on. There you go, Barracuda.
Actually, if you do, I tell you what you should do. She does. Nancy Wilson, I think that's the guitarist, does a
version. She's got a new album out.
She does a version of Battle of Evermore. Look it up on YouTube. The Led Zeppelin track. It's amazing. She's a really good guitarist.
Yeah, she's absolutely and very, very beautiful.
Yeah.
Enough about Heart.
Sorry,
I do. Question.
Laxi, get in the car. Get in the car, Gilf. Sorry. Get in the goddamn car! Have you got a penis?
Like that.
There you go. Have you got a penis? You're wearing a dress. Get in the car.
Speaking of which, question number 8, as if that was planned. We're looking for another term.
We do apologise. We'll retract that. Sorry.
Call girl.
Call girl. Oh, it's the Nissan prostitute. It's
Cool
the Ford hooker. It's the hang on.
Ooh.
A call girl.
Another name for a call girl.
It's a Mitsubishi Streetwalker.
That would be so cool.
Oh, of course, it's the Hyundai Ho. I don't know.
I'm surprised. Another name for call girl would be Escort.
Oh,
Ford Escort. Oh, it's like
well done. That's terrible. It's one as well.
7 out of 8 so far.
Oh my goodness.
Slightly harder as well.
It's nearly as good as my Lancia Streetwalker, but sorry, yeah, go
on. Question number 9. We're looking for a type of musical composition.
Concerto. Harder.
Oh,
Concerto? Is there...
It could have been. It wasn't what I was thinking. I like that, but I'm going to give you that.
Didn't Hyundai?
Was it the Hyundai
Concerto or Hyundai Concerto? Okay, so a musical.
Hyundai is now we're getting. So the car I'm looking for is a Hyundai.
Oh,
type of musical.
hang on. I should know. This is no. Don't tell me. I've got this. Oh, I quite like these. I think they have stopped making it. It was their last saloon, wasn't it?
It was a saloon, yes, big saloon.
Hyundai gets. It was when they were still naming them and not using the numbers.
Mm.
Sonata, the Hyundai Sonata.
Yes, there it is.
That is the one I like. They drive those a lot in Malaysia. When I lived in Malaysia, because I think that looks like a baby Jag.
I was going to say, if you squint, it's like a C-Class Mercedes.
Yeah. Actually, it does. Big in Malaysia with the Hyundai Sonata.
Might check out the price of those. Might be
they're very cheap.
Car.
I think we could do that. I don't like the newer versions. That era, the 2005, the rounded one. I lived in Malaysia and used to say, I quite like that. That's quite. And as I was driving around in my Produa, everything was better than my Produa.
There you go. 8 out of 9 so far. But you have won the Fiesta. The last one is
excellent.
Last one for the end on a high. We're looking for a Spanish painter famous for Cubism.
It's. I'm going to do the Derek and Clive sketch about calling him Picasso. Why? Because he takes shit out of people's asses and puts it on canvas. It's Picasso. It is, of course. Who could forget the car I've always feared as a family man? The Citroen Picasso. The Citroen Picasso, because I feel if I ever bought this egg-shaped monstrosity, I would have to give up life as a red-blooded, heterosexual, car-loving man, and I would have to hand my testicles in a small bag to my wife, who would
not
then
quite sure which end is the arsehole of this. Is it the front or is it the back? I don't know.
Hang on, hold it up to the screen. I can smell baby vomit, the smell of dog, and the smell of giving up, and tears of a former heterosexual man driving that car. Awful car, horrendous.
But well done, 9 out of 10.
Thank you, hey! The audience. When I've queued them
Car's
up,
on its way to you.
the audience, when I've queued them up, are going crazy. Queue them up. There you go. They're loving your work. Is that about it? Is that it? Thank you. I can't stop it now.
Sounds like rain now.
It does sound like rain.
That's how much rain we've had.
Somebody frying bacon. That's about it from us, isn't it? Is that about it?
After that long applause, yeah.
Thank you for tuning in. That's about it. That's it from us today. I thought we'd go out sounding like Motley Crue this week. What do you reckon?
Does that mean
get in the car?
Get in the car! Go out with Pamela Anderson.
Yeah. Oh, he would. Yeah, Tommy Lee with his big set drum kit. Get in the car, Pamela. Are you going to dig like Tommy's? That's about it from the show. Thank you for tuning in. It's the usual address. Big, huge, ride to the Car-Boyz at the following address. Car-Boyz, all of that. There you go. Thank you very much for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the show. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Try and get out if you're allowed. The government does let you go out in whichever country you're living in. Obviously, we're going to stay inside all night and drink Castrol GTX. Wait for the second vaccination. Goodbye and have a wonderful week.